Okay, I got some sleep. I'm gonna be okay. We're going to be able to record a normal one of these this time.
Hopefully, if the dog doesn't keep acting up.
The dog looks forward to this now. It used to be that when we started recording these, the dog would be like, I'm just gonna chill and see what's going on. Now she's like, I get to be on camera!
Yep.
Yay! But yeah, for anybody who saw the Captain America one we just did, I did that after being up for over 24 hours straight. Like, that was like hour 36 of me being awake. You could tell. I was editing that video together and I was like, yeah, colors are good in this. World War II colors looking like, I'm actually like well rested now. I can actually put words together good like I normally do.
It's obvious when you're like tired because you start to ramble. More so than normal.
I must always be tired then.
That's my secret.
That's my secret, Cap. I'm just gonna. It's the Hulk, but only when you sleep, and the Hulk just sleeps. It's like Sloth from Full Metal Alchemist. That's something that we should review. Anyway, this is our look back at all the Marvel films leading up to Avengers Infinity War. And by all the Marvel films, I mean going up until Civil War, which is the first one that we officially did on this channel. Basically, this is us filling in them gaps.
Yes.
So, yes, we are preparing for Avengers Infinity War, and we have now hit the first Avengers film. Man, I have seen this probably 5 times, and yeah, nothing is going to capture how much I loved it the first time that I saw this. Because that was mind-blowing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's one thing that I say in the review that I have coming up for this, is that one of the reasons I love this film so much is that, oh my god, it was getting all these characters together.
Yeah, like the big finale. This was the thing that everyone was
that like, was all leading towards, yeah.
All leading toward, everyone was getting so excited, all revved up for.
And everybody was acting like Peach.
Yes.
That big old, everybody went to the theater with a big old tongue just hanging out of their face. But yeah, this is the thing that everybody was waiting for, and they didn't screw it up. Mm-hmm. It all worked.
Yep.
It all panned out. Yeah, and I know that now these days, like, thinking about the fact that this has been around for 10 years, there's like 16-year-olds out there, or 16, 17-year-olds, who, ever since they were little kids, this has been their reality. Mm-hmm. This is how it's always existed. But man, you gotta put yourself back into the shoes of how people my age felt. This is something that didn't exist. We didn't have movies where just every single superhero came together and they all existed in a shared universe. This was insane, and when you watch this film, it's like, oh my god, Iron Man is talking to Captain America, and Iron Man is acting like Iron Man, and Captain America is acting like Captain America. That's one of the amazing things. It didn't feel like someone came in here and like rewrote these characters from the ground up. And it was like, well, I gotta write them in my way to make it all fit together. It's like, no, they all seemed exactly like they did in their individual movies. The only one who really didn't was like Thor and Loki didn't, but they felt like better versions of themselves from that film. Because, yeah, they feel like the characters that we saw in the Thor film,
we even said,
but better versions.
Yeah, like, we even said, like, Thor and Loki, and Thor was, like, the weaker
and also
movie, and Hulk, but...
And also, Thor has been, like, unmolded clay in every single one of these films, but with every film, someone molds him, just puts him a little bit more into shape. And it wasn't until Thor Ragnarok that someone was like, no, it's finished, it came out of the kiln, everyone. But it's like, yeah, the first Thor form, it was just a big clump of clay. This one, they came and was like, all right, getting some shapes in there. Yeah, we're getting this figured out. But like Loki, this is the one where they got Loki figured out. It's like, holy shit, Loki is so good in this. And I think it was smart of them to not invent a new character for them to go up against. And this is one of the reasons why I'm glad that we're going back and watching these again. Because when I watched it the first time, I was like, okay, it would have been cool if we had gotten a new villain. But, Loki was the first villain they fought in the comics. I get this. And also, Loki is really damn good in this film. He's even better than he was in Thor. So, all right, I'm fine with that. But it wasn't until Justice League came out. And I'm just like, wow, no one gives a fuck about Steppenwolf. Steppenwolf sucked ass in that film. And now when I'm rewatching Avengers, I'm just like, it was so smart of them to not create a new villain, because they was like, the point of this movie is getting the team together, getting them all together. If we gotta introduce a new villain to bring them together and give their backstory and give all the info on them as well, that's too much for this first movie. The entire point of this first movie is get them together. Bring in the guy we've already introduced so everybody already knows his deal. It's like, that that was really smart of them.
Yeah, also having the Avengers get together for just a one-shot villain, it would just seem kind of like disappointing.
But Loki just keeps coming back and coming back and coming back, which, by the way, I have not actually talked about this on any of these yet. I talked about it a little bit when we did Iron Man 1. We know characters are dying in Infinity War.
Yeah.
Iron Man, I think, is a real safe bet, and I've already gone into the details about that. Like, he's the guy who started this whole universe. He's kind of been our guide through all this. Also, they made sure that he got back together with Pepper Potts and got engaged to her in the Spider-Man film. Like, wow, you made sure to introduce some stakes, some things that'd be sad if he left behind when he dies in space. Loki, I think, is totally set to die. I'm going to go ahead and say that as well. I think Loki is a really good bet. Because in this one, it's like, okay, Loki was working for this mystery space dude the whole time. He got the army for him so that he could go and get the Tesseract. And at the end of the last Thor Ragnarok, it's like, wow, Loki has finally become a good guy. And we see in that trailer that shot of him holding up the Tesseract. And it's like, I think this movie is going to open up with the entire Thor Asgardian ship, like all of them just decimated. And Loki's just like, listen, just take it, man. Just take it and go. It's like, Thanos will just be like, oh, well, thank you. Blam! Alright, that's what happens when you don't do what I want you to do. It's like,
also, just like how Iron Man... Peach.
Jeez, Peach thinks there is buried treasure in the couch.
There might be crumbs in the couch, so maybe that is buried treasure to her. But yeah, it's like, just like how Iron Man, like, brought together the Avengers, like, Loki was, like, the main villain throughout the Avengers series, so...
That's a good way of looking at it, too.
Yeah.
Except for in Avengers 2, where Iron Man was the main villain. Iron Man also bringing everybody together. Yes. So, as I said, one of the reasons I love this so much is because, Peach is falling off the couch. She's so happy. I want to be on camera. One of the reasons I love the Avengers so much is because it was just seeing that team come together. It was like, oh my god, they did it. And they all, like, when they talk to each other, it's really clever, it's really witty, but it all feels natural. But as I said, I've watched this about 5 times. Every single time I watch this, there's different things I noticed in here that I didn't notice before, including this time. You pointed out to me the shawarma shop that they all go to, that when Iron Man wakes up and he's just like, hey, who wants shawarma? I saw the shawarma place. And it's like, oh, you see that when he's flying around.
Yeah, it's like...
That's when he saw the shawarma place when he was in battle. Yeah,
there was one scene where he was in battle and you can actually, like, see the shawarma place in the background. It's like, oh, so it wasn't just random out of nowhere. Like, he actually saw it in the corner of his eye. I'm like...
That's the thing that I love about this film. Nothing is random and out of nowhere. Like, almost every single line of dialogue in here comes back around at some point in time. Like... There's that line of when Captain America says, when I woke up, they told me we won. They didn't say what we lost. Iron Man gets knocked unconscious, and then he wakes up. What happened? We won. It's like, oh shit, that's smart. When Thor grabs Loki and the two of them are talking up on the hill, 2 ravens go flying by. In Norse mythology, ravens were the eyes of Odin. Odin could see through ravens. He had 2 specific ones he could see through. But yeah, so basically it was like, oh, his dad is like watching him there. And they don't stop, like Thor doesn't like stop and look over at the ravens. They don't cut to it. It's like, it's a very small thing. And it's like, wow, only like really big fans of like these characters like would actually get that. That's really clever. It's so weird for me to see a film like this about superheroes where people care about the continuity of everything. Like, there's a moment in here, this is another thing that I just noticed this time around, when we watched Iron Man 2, there's that moment where Iron Man takes out all the drones with this weird, like, red laser beam, and then after he does it, he pops, like, the little cartridge out of his hand, and it's like, yeah, it can only be used once. He pops the cartridge out, and it's all burnt. And here, when Iron Man is trying to fix the helicarrier from going down, he's using this red laser beam, pops the little cartridge out. It's like, okay, it's not like that's a really, like, clever thing, but it shows that these people watch these movies and went, I'm going to bring that back, I'm going to bring that back. Like, it feels like the people who are making this, like, actually wanted to make these characters feel like they existed in the other movies. And that's something that comic books don't even do. The people who are writing Avengers are like, wait, what's going on in Captain America's comic right now? I'm not writing that, I don't care about this right now. It's like, which I understand. You don't want to have your project get screwed up by other people doing things in their projects with other people, but it makes it feel so much better when you can make that work, and this movie made that work with all these other films. But another thing that I did not pick up on this the first time that I watched this. I mean, I picked up on little bits of it. I picked up on little bits of the messages, but I didn't really quite understand. I've watched other people analyzed this film before and like the hidden messages in it and everything. And now, like, I totally see this. This is a film about superhero movies, because another thing that people have to remember is when you go back to when this movie came out, it was still during that time in which everybody was like, the Christopher Nolan Batman films. That's the big thing. Everybody make all the superheroes like that. Like, so many superhero films, they were trying to be darker. They were trying to be grittier with them. They were trying to be like, no, we need to be serious and darker and more real world. Like, that's what's the answer to all this stuff. And even after you saw this film, a lot of stuff for years kept trying to do that. This entire film is all about Jesus, Peach. Peach is going ballistic. Peach, come over here. Peach.
Peach.
Peach. Come here. Blah. Get on this side where there are no crumbs. There are no crumbs here. Yeah, just be happy. This entire film is about Peach crawling into my lap. This entire film is about superhero films not having to be that. I mean, there's that line when Captain America is being told to suit up again by Phil Coulson, and he's like, doesn't the Stars and Stripes seem a little old-fashioned? He's like, with everything going on, with everything that's about to be brought to light, I think the world could use a little old-fashioned. He ain't talking about Loki. He's talking about the real world. He's saying, it's like, dude, the real world is fucked up enough as it is. Why do we want all of our superheroes to be incredibly fucked up as well? Would it be nice to see big shiny superheroes with how messed up the world is? It's like, yeah, it would be. And it was in this film. But you can even go way deeper with it. Like, that's the kind of thing that I picked up on the first time that I watched it. But when you watch this again, like, Nick Fury saying, there was an idea to bring together a whole, like, everybody knows the speech. He's not talking about his plan in the movie. He's talking about Disney's plan with the Avengers. There was a plan to bring together a whole bunch of people. It's like, oh, well, you know, it's just this crazy idea that I had. I'm just a sentimental old guy. It's like, yeah, it was basically Disney just going, like, we know how crazy this idea was.
I'm just imagining Mickey Mouse as Nick Fury now, just like...
That sounds like the new Kingdom Hearts game. There was an idea to bring together all the Disney properties and all the Square Final Fantasy characters, and then give it a continuity that nobody could understand at all. Don't at me. I'm sure it makes sense if you play all the games. I'm not doing that. But yeah, like, that's Disney basically talking about that. And then you have the weird shadowy council that's just like, Director Fury, the Avengers program wouldn't work at all. We told you it wouldn't work. That's other Hollywood producers basically coming to him as like, the Avengers is a stupid idea, it'll never work. And it's like, I don't give a shit what you think. The Avengers is going to work. And this was an analysis I heard someone making, but it really hit me. Something that I was thinking about even further is that, yeah, if they're supposed to be the Hollywood producers who want to make the dark, gritty, real-world heroes, which is one of the reasons why they're like, yeah, let's just arm a bunch of soldiers with super weapons, which was their plan. If that's what their plan is, and they're the Hollywood producers who are supposed to be giving us the dark, gritty, real-world version of superheroes, the year after this film came out, Man of Steel came out, which was the dark, gritty, real-world version of Superman. How did they stop the alien invasion at the end of that? They destroyed the city. What was the secret council's plan to stop the alien invasion in this film? Destroy the city. And it was the Avengers coming in and going, no, don't destroy fucking everything, you idiots. Yeah, man, it really takes on a new level of meaning when you consider that kind of stuff. But you can even read into it further. Like, Phil Coulson, he's supposed to be the audience. Phil Coulson, not just because he's like the most generic average dude ever. Phil Coulson is supposed to be the audience because he's the guy who went from movie to movie gathering all these people up. Like, the audience went from movie to movie with all of them.
Yeah, it's like, I remember in the Marvel movie marathon, they would have, like, segments with Coulson just, like, introducing, like, each of the movies. Yeah. And to the audience and everything, it's like, oh, hey, it's
that guy! I know that guy! Which, by the way, since Coulson ain't around anymore except on TV, which isn't going to cross into this, apparently. If any studio wants to if any theater ever wants to do another Marvel movie marathon, see if you can get Luis from Ant-Man. The guy's like, all right, so here's everything that happened. I was talking to my cousin, and like, I want that to be the summation of Infinity War. But yeah, Phil Coulson was supposed to kind of be us, and this one, he became a massive fanboy for Captain America. You never really saw that in any of the previous films, like his superhero fanboyism. But in this film, it was like, yeah, he just loves superheroes, especially Captain America. He's a big fan of all these heroes.
It's like, I feel
kind of like the audience.
It's like
and the thing that brought the Avengers together, the Avengers did not want to work together. They couldn't get along. What was the thing that brought them together? Phil Coulson dying, and then Nick Fury being like, this is what he really wants. And then the Avengers were like, the fans want us to get together, we're gonna get together. It's like, they literally come together and form the super team for the fans out there who wanted to see a superhero team. It's like, god damn, this movie is so much better than people give it credit for.
It's like, I was about to say, like, the reason why you don't really see Coulson fanboy out is because he had a job to do. He was trying to recruit the Avengers and everything. Yeah. So yeah, like now that the Avengers are finally together, he finally gets a chance to, like, you know, meet his idol and like be in fanboy out and everything.
All that stuff in there.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong, there are some problems in this film that I do have. I'm sure other people have other ones, but I don't care. There are some problems I have, which, one of them, Black Widow. I like Black Widow in here, but she's basically every Joss Whedon protagonist.
Yeah.
Joss Whedon writes all of his protagonists kind of exactly the same.
Yeah.
And she's basically Buffy. She's basically, not Nathan Drake, Nathan Fillion in Firefly. Like, so many of his protagonists act and have the same, like, level of snark. Black Widow kind of has that in here. It's not bad, but when there was that scene we were watching of Black Widow tricking Loki into giving up information, which all those scenes were great. Mm-hmm. That was another thing about this film. I love that this film showed us every reason why every member of these characters are on this team. It's like, why is Hawkeye on this team? And then Hawkeye does something really damn cool. Like, why is Hawkeye on this team? Get up on that rooftop, spot out patterns. He gets up on the fucking rooftop, spots out patterns, and he helps Iron Man with that. Mm-hmm. Yay, teamwork. Why is Black Widow on the team? She tricks the god of mischief. Holy shit. Which I saw some post like long ago, that's always kind of bugged me. There was some guy online who was like, man, they made Loki so lame. He gets tricked by Black Widow. It's like, no, they didn't make Loki lame. They made Black Widow cool by that. It kind of says a lot about you that when the villain gets tricked by the person whose expertise is tricking people, you look at that as not being a compliment to the hero. Anywho, that's something out there. But yeah, there comes that moment when she is tricking Loki, and she goes, here's my backstory. And then Loki's like, oh, I know your backstory. Here's all the horrible shit you've done. And watching it this time around, I was like, yeah, for somebody who's done all that horrible shit, this personality of hers doesn't quite match. I'm not saying she can't be snarkier, like she can't have like a witty sense of humor, but she had that in like Winter Soldier, and yet she was more serious in that, more focused on the mission, and I felt like, yeah, that's, if you wanted to make Black Widow like witty and snarky and sassy, that seems more like the appropriate level. This just feels like Joss Whedon going, this is how I write all my protagonists.
Yeah, but like at the same time, it is the Avengers. It's supposed to be a bit more lighthearted,
yeah.
So...
understandable, yes, okay. Also, one other thing, Captain America's suit is bad in this. That is one complaint that, like, when I saw it the first time, I was like, well, the helmet's bad, but as soon as the helmet comes off, it actually looks pretty darn good on him. This is the first time that we've ever watched it on our new, like, 4K TV, not bragging it, just saying it specifically for my argument that I'm making here. And when we watched it on that, you know, Iron Man still looks good, Thor still looks good, everybody else in here still looks good, the Hulk still looks great. Captain America's suit looked awful to me this time, and not just the helmet. Like, even when he took it off, it's like, I never noticed there's just a big zipper.
Yeah.
Right down the front. I was like, why? Why would you do that? Why? Like, right there on the stripes, like, that looks horrible. And, like, we could see, like, the details on the fabric in there, and I was like, oh, this really looks like your mom made you this looks like your mom made you a Captain America Halloween suit when you were a kid. And, like, they did the best job they could, way to go, but that don't match up to the big Hollywood blockbuster that we have here. So yeah, that just don't quite fit. But I mean, that's all the complaints I have. What is it, buddy?
Do you have complaints too, Peach?
What's your complaint? Oh, there's someone outside.
Yeah.
Peach is being a guard dog.
Yes.
Alright, so yeah, anything else you want to say about this?
I don't know. It's like I pretty much said everything. It's like it's awesome to see everybody get together, and the way they interacted was like natural and great. So
yeah, all that's good. but we haven't really talked about the fight scene. I just realized we've just been talking about their interactions the whole time.
Oh yeah, well, I felt like part of the fight scenes also include like with the interactions.
It is, yeah. That's another thing. Like I said, at the end of this film, it's them going, we're going to be the superhero team that everyone needs. And what I love is that this entire time they're all fighting each other. But then they realize fighting each other is kind of stupid, and it's kind of the problem. It's kind of exactly what Loki wants. At the end of this, Iron Man, who's been wanting to be in control the whole time, first thing he does is he turns to Captain and goes, "What's the call, Captain?" He goes, "This is the guy who's on the team specifically because of this. Because he knows how to give people orders. I, the most egotistical guy in the world, is going to recognize that and say, all right, what's the deal? Because this is the moment when he's supposed to fucking do that. This is the moment when you have to learn that lesson." And I love that in one moment, he just breaks down every single thing that everyone does, including Hulk smash. And I like that Hulk just smiles like, yeah, finally. Hulk looks really damn good in this, and maybe again, because this is the first time watching on 4K TV, but there's one moment here that I think is shot wonderfully. It's when Hulk is turning into the Hulk for the first time, and you see like the sad look on his face, but then there's that moment in which you see him looking over his shoulder, and you just see his eyes, and it looks like he's still sad, but then the shoulder lowers, and you see his mouth, and you realize, oh, he's not sad, he's angry. And I'm like, that one shot really sums up the Hulk without saying a word. Like, that's a brilliant shot in there. I think that was done very well.
It's like, it's funny, like, the Hulk transforming on the ship kind of reminded me of like him transforming in the Bottle Factory, because like you have like all these machines in the way.
Okay,
yeah, because it's like dark, like he's sort of like hidden in the shadows and everything. So I'm wondering if that was like a callback or
maybe I can kind of see that. Yeah, which they even did the best job they could with having callbacks to the Hulk film, including the fact they did the best job they could having callbacks to the Hulk film, considering that they couldn't get the same actor to come back.
Yeah.
They did the best job that they could with that. And I love that one of the things he does in here is he talks about trying to kill himself, because that was actually a deleted scene in the Incredible Hulk film. And it feels almost like, hey man, we don't know if this is ever going to see the light of day. We don't know if it's going to be on the DVD or Blu-ray release. But someone is going to hear that that was a deleted scene from the Incredible Hulk film. So we're going to include this line in there for all the people out there who knew about that. They're like, God damn, that's really cool.
Speaking of deleted scenes, like I know there were like more like scenes with Captain America getting used to like the present day New York.
There's some, yeah.
Yeah, it's like I kind of wish they did more of that.
Yeah, there were some deleted scenes. Like there's just one of him like when he first sees Stark Towers, and it's like that really feels like it should have still been in this film. I've seen that deleted scene. It really feels like that belonged in this movie. I don't know if that was just taken out for time or what, but yeah, going back to the big fight at the end, like I said, I'm a fan of the Avengers comic, but the Avengers in the Avengers comic have not behaved like the Avengers in a long ass time. And just seeing Captain America give everyone orders, and that one shot of, like, it's just one continuous shot, which I know it's all CGI, so it's not that impressive, but still, like, just the visuals of it are still really darn impressive. That someone could actually think of how to plan all this out. The shot of Iron Man just flying from one character over to Cap, then going up past Hawkeye. Hawkeye shoots past Black Widow then flies past Hulk and Thor fighting. That's done incredibly well, and yeah, it shows teamwork. I remember when we saw this in the theater, everybody was cheering nonstop during that, and there's the shot of Iron Man blasting into Cap's shield as Cap like redirects.
Yeah, I remember you were like flipping your shit
I remember.
that,
I kid you not, this is exactly what happened. When that happened, I heard someone scream in the audience, and then went, "Oh my God, that was me!" It's the only time in my life I have ever screamed in joy and was so into it I didn't even realize I was doing it. Like, this is the way like 13-year-old girls feel at like a boy band concert, or whatever the equivalent of that is these days. I'm an old man. But yeah, I was like, God, this is it. Like, it's everything I want. Like, I lost my mind during that entire sequence. And yeah, you're never going to feel that way again, but I'm still appreciating it every single time I watch this. And it's not just showing like teamwork. It's not just coming up with cool combo attacks. Like, the personalities still match. Like,
yeah.
All the little conversations between Iron Man and Jarvis as he's going around, like have you ever heard the tale of Jonah and the Whale? I wouldn't consider him a role model at this time, sir. It's like, I freaking love that even Jarvis is kind of a part of the team in this. Or my favorite moment in here, it's after Thor and Hulk crash the giant snake thing down into, where is it? Penn Station, I think. Yeah. They crashed into Penn Station. They're sitting there like, because that was after the one long ass shot. And the audience was like needing a moment to like catch their breath as well. Bam! And because at moments like that, nobody typically stops to think of personality. They're all thinking like, well, what's the clever one-liner you going? What's the clever combo move you could do? Like, that's the most you normally get and stuff like that. Like, no, how do these people genuinely feel towards each other in this moment? It's like, yeah, it's Hulk. Hulk is just gonna be Hulk. And it's like, God damn, you got that so well.
Also, I think he's kind of annoyed at the first fight he had with Thor.
Again, it's like, at that point in this movie, we have all forgotten that because of all the incredible other stuff that just happened in this film. But no, the moment they punches them, the audience remembers, oh right, Hulk still hates Thor because they just fought. To Hulk, that fight was 5 minutes ago. And speaking of Hulk, there is something that I love in here, and I saw like some post on Tumblr, and somebody was like, oh, this is the dumbest thing ever. And I was like, you clearly did not get this. It's the I'm always angry line. Like, I know there are people out there who don't understand what that line means, because like, how is that your secret to containing the Hulk? The thing is, throughout this entire film, they're like, well, what is your secret to not being angry? What is your secret to not getting that rage to boil up inside you? Because we know if that happens, the Hulk comes out. That's my secret, Cap, I'm always angry. That's a line about depression. That is a line about Bruce Banner just breaking down and saying, you guys think I'm calm. You guys think I'm relaxed. You guys think like, oh, he never wants to come out. No, that's the thing. I'm never calm. I'm always a wreck. I'm always mad because when you have anger issues, when you have depression, when you go through like psychological stuff like that, it's never not there. It's always there. You're constantly fighting it. That line, I'm always angry, is like, yeah, the secret is I don't tap him down. I'm fighting him at all times. Every second of every day, he wants to get out. I'm always fighting. It's like that one line sums up the Hulk so incredibly well because, yes, that's supposed to be a big stand-up and cheer moment when the Hulk comes out, but look at Bruce Banner's face right before he turns into that. I'm always angry. He's like, he's not smiling. He ain't happy. That is the look of a man admitting, I'm really fucked up, guys. and then when he turns around, it's not him like making himself angry. It's just him going, hands off the steering wheel, Hulk. It's like, yeah, that's so damn good in this movie. It's one of those things that's like, how do you people not fucking get the fuck? Do they need to stop the entire movie and spell it out for you?
Sometimes they do.
We'll get into that. We'll get into that with the whole Mandarin controversy in the next film of people needing something to be spelled out for them. God damn, that's another thing that pisses me off when people don't understand it. Okay, anyway. But also, just going into, I think it is brilliant that Hulk takes Loki out so quick. Yeah. Because, yeah, Loki, he ain't the big bad guy. The big bad guy is not we all team up to fight one guy. It's, yeah, we team up to team up. The point of this film was, do we get these heroes together? We did, hooray. The end of this film is them just taking out all the bad guys that are being sullen. But the fight with Loki, it's brilliant. Because A, it lets us know that the Hulk, which we have been sitting for the entire time going, when's the Hulk gonna show up? When's he coming? What's gonna happen? And then he shows up and it's like, this is how big of a deal I am. But the fact that in this movie, the Hulk isn't pushed to his limits. We don't see the Hulk go as big as he can go. It lets the audience know there's gonna be a bigger threat one day that will force the Hulk to go as far as he can. If the Hulk went as far as he could with this one, what's the next guy gonna do? Force the Hulk to go even further. It's like, no. Loki wasn't a threat to Hulk. No, not at all. The next thing coming up is gonna be a threat to Hulk. That big purple dude who smiles at the end of this film, oh, he's even bigger.
It's like, I like that the Hulk and Loki thing because they're pretty much like opposites. Like Loki doesn't use his muscles, he uses his brains.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, he outsmarts, he uses tricks. But Hulk is like, nah, fuck that, I'm just gonna smash you up.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Loki, throughout his entire life, he's been using, like, tricks on people. He's been using his words. He's been scheming. Hulk is just there, it's like, alright, I'm gonna take, what? It's like, the Hulk is the one guy, yeah, that ain't gonna fucking work on, man. Hulk can't be tricked. Hulk just smash. Now, you can get the Hulk to smash things that you want him to smash, but he'll come back around and smash you eventually. Hell, we saw that in Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Hulk is a rabid dog, man. All you can do is kind of aim him and then let him go. So yeah, I can't think of anything else I want to talk about in this film. Still, after all this time, I freaking love this film. I don't stand up and cheer and woo and like smile and like laugh at every single joke anymore, but I still really fucking appreciate this film. This is still just a damn well made film. So yeah, thank you guys very much. Coming up next will be Iron Man 3, the one in which I'm going to have to lose my fucking mind at some of you and your nerd rage on this one. Oh, the Mandarin in the comics is such a great character. Really? What's your favorite story? Really? Just tell me right now. Go for it. Don't say the most recent one either. Give me like some history on. Go on. Do it. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh. Anywho, all right. So that's it. Man, I had to finish this by pissing people off. I don't care. Don't at me. Anyway, thank you very much. Come back for the next episode of our massive Marvel movie marathon. Bye.
Bye.